Writing clear and actionable minutes is an essential part of brilliant collaboration. Why? Because meetings are moments when we come together with our colleagues and teammates to move work forward. It's where decisions are made and where actions get agreed. But all too often, they can become talking shops. And the meeting notes don't bring clarity, rather, they are directionally correct but not perfect. So it reduces the effectiveness of the meeting because the actions and the decisions are just not clear. Now, this is no good for anyone in any type of meeting. But if you are working in a hybrid way or fully remote, you need to be so much more intentional in the way in which you both run your meetings and capture the meeting minutes. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 steps that will help you bring clarity to the actions and decisions you are making in your meeting. And there's a big win for you if you are a manager of teams or projects or just leading meetings, because you will also be seen as one of those people who run great meetings and move work along well. Hello, my name is Helen Bryant. I'm a coach and a trainer, and I share lessons on leadership, management and collaboration and how to thrive in this crazy world of hybrid work. By the end of this video, you'll know how to make sure your minutes hit the mark each and every time so that everyone leaves super clear on what has been agreed, what the decisions are, and as a consequence, saves everybody time and makes sure you all do your best work. I'm also going to share a template with you that you'll be able to download to help you put it into practice. So the first step is to create one version of the truth. This is so important in hybrid and remote when you don't see each other as much and you cannot rely on those little conversations to gain clarity. You make sure that your documentation is super clear. So one version of the truth. This is a shared document that everybody can see, that is done in the meeting so that you're not waiting days for the minutes to come out, and becomes a tool helping you move the meeting forward rather than a distinct thing in its own right that has to come out afterwards. The second step is you need to allocate the role of writing the minutes to someone who's in the meeting. Do not try and chair a meeting and lead it and write the minutes. It's just too much to do. So you need to give that responsibility to someone, delegate that role. That person needs to be aware of their responsibilities before they come into the meeting so that they can prepare and get ahead and be ready to capture what's going on in the meeting and not be setting themselves up. It also needs somebody who is confident enough to say, have we made a decision there? Can I just confirm the action? And not to be a passive person in the background. Now, you can have great teamwork between somebody leading the meeting and somebody writing the minutes, because you can support each other in just checking that whatever has been agreed is written down correctly. So what are you actually using to write the minutes? Now, the key here, step 3, is to have an agreed way in which you capture the minutes. And you don't want to keep reinventing the wheel with everybody starting again. So you need a template format that you follow. Now, all meetings are different and you may want to tailor this, but I think there are 2 main ways of doing it. Firstly, you could use a meeting app that already does this for you, provides the templates, is shared to everybody, and allows you to structure your meeting, plan it, to capture the actions and the decisions as you go. Now, my favourite app for this is fellow.app. I'll link it underneath. It's a great tool. Obviously, you're going to be paying for something like that, but the transparency it brings for many organizations is well worth the investment, and it's so easy to use. You can tailor it to what you want, and then it acts, and also the other benefit of it is that you can tick things off, so you gain transparency as actions are done, either as an individual or as a team. Really fantastic tool. But if you're not buying into an app, then what you need to do is to create templates for the kinds of meetings you have that you then store in a nice shared area with a very clear file name, and everybody commits to using them. Now, I'm going to share one with you here, which is for a formal meeting, just to explain what should be on your templates. And indeed, you can download this template if it helps you to get started. Okay, let me put my glasses on and show you how that works. Okay, here's the template that works for any formal meeting, really. So project updates, team meetings, things where you're really coming together and decisions are going to be made and actions going to be agreed. This is probably a tad too much for a more informal meeting, but for those more formal ones, this template will help you. The starting point, obviously, we capture what the meeting is and its date. And then it's important then to capture the attendee. So that's everybody who is in the meeting, whether it be virtual or face-to-face. You want to capture everybody who's there. Next, it's great to attach links to the documents and presentations that are shared so that it's a quick and easy search for the documentation that is in use. You might even want to share the pre-read or something like that if you wanted to. It means it's all in one place. And remember, what this template is doing in meeting minutes is becoming more a tool to help you than just a snapshot of what's happened. Now, in your preparation, that person who's been allocated that role, they can do a lot of this beforehand. The two other things they should prepare before and not be doing in the meeting is the meeting purpose. The meeting purpose is really answering the question, what do you want to have achieved by the end? And you need to be able to say, how will you know you have achieved it? So if this is about making decisions, you make this clear at this point. This is also the point at which you will use to start the meeting. So everybody is crystal clear in that meeting what they're there for. And you'll know at the end whether you've achieved it. The other thing the person who's doing the minutes can do is add in the agenda or the talking points of what's going on so that you've got a record of what's there. Now, you can also, in your documents, attach the agenda if you so wish. And then the two things that you need to pull out are the decisions and the actions. So decisions first, what are the decisions that have been made, and any notes for clarity. And this helps if these minutes are being shared around. It means that there may be a bit of explanation being put in there so people know. But this needs to be crystal clear. Decisions often get missed in meetings or they become a bit hidden. So this is the point at which you pull them out. The second thing then is actions. And the key here is to make this nice and specific. The action, what's the task that needs doing, who is responsible for doing it, so their name, by when, so what's the deadline. And if you're going to turn this more into a tool and it's going to be a shared document, then I also like to have a little done tab. You can either have it here or you can have it on your project tool, but I do like it in terms of just having it there to click off and tick off, yeah, that's been done. Again, for the person leading the meeting, gives real control of knowing where you are on those actions, especially if those people have access to this document and they update for you. A couple of other things that you may want to consider. That is any notes. So you may just need to add a few notes, especially if this is being shared more widely or you want to reference something. I don't think it's always the best use of time to essentially say everything that was said in the meeting in this document. Obviously, for really formal meetings where it is a record of what is said, that's quite different. But for most knowledge workers, office workers, working together, you don't need to record everything that was said, as long as you've got the attached documents and the decisions and the actions are clear. But you may want to capture a few. I think it's always good to point out when the next meeting is. So if this is a sequence of meetings, what's the next milestone that you're moving to? And distribution. So be clear if these are being copied to other people. And again, in a hybrid or remote world, you may have someone who is a representative for a team in the meeting, but they're being shared to a broader audience. It's always good to know who's reading them. It reminds us that collaboration is going on beyond just this small group of people here. So there you go, a simple template to use, but makes an enormous difference to the clarity of the decisions and the actions are made. And remember, that is what moves work on at each and every meeting. What you'll also notice is if you come to the end and no decisions are made and no real actions are there, you really need to review it and say, why were we here? Maybe we need to do this a bit differently next time. Okay, let's move on to step 4. Now, step 4, once the minutes are written, is to store them for transparency and action. So you want to be sharing them to a shared location where everybody knows where they are. Much better than sending individual ones all round by email. Bring everybody back to where you're collaborating, your digital collaboration space. Now, The person who's written them, one important step here is just check them, edit them before they go out, just to finalise that they are super clear to everybody and there's no spelling mistakes and everything is tip top. Once that's there, share it onto the share file that you've agreed, the share folder that you've agreed. And then the next step that works really well is if you are working in Teams or Slack as a team, is to then put a link into your digital workspace, because that means any discussion then on those minutes then happens in Teams or Slack rather than spreading out and going all over on email. The team always knows where we are. It really encourages accountability, especially if you're updating, that's completed now, so everybody knows where you are. Again, it saves time for the next meeting of chasing where people are if you can keep your digital collaboration space supporting you and helping you keep your work moving forward. And step 5 is to review. Now, these things are not static, things change, things evolve. So it's really worth every now and again checking both on the quality of the meeting, getting feedback on your meetings, what's working, what could you do better, but also on the documentation and your process here, your way of working, and just check that it works for everybody. You always want to have a system that is understood and at its best by the team that are working on it. So it's worth checking in every now and again that this is still working. There you go, 5 steps to improve your meeting notes and make sure that everybody is super clear on what has been agreed and able to get on with the actions outside the meeting. So remember, if you want that template, click on the link below and you can get it and get it set up quickly in your meetings. If you found this video useful, please subscribe to my channel, ring the bell, and you'll get notified of each and every video that I post. I post weekly lessons on leadership, management, and collaboration. And I'll see you all next week. Take care.